alisema yeye atakuja hapa mwenyewe na mpokee salamu za wajumbe wengine wetu wa kutoka hapa Nairobi. Mama Dago atatuzungumzia baadaye because pia yeye alikuwa na shida hii ya floods kama yetu, but she's a more experienced hand. Yeye tayari alijua vile deal na wake, atatuambia wakati itafika. Ladies and gentlemen, na kabla hiyo niweze kuintroduce kwa haraka tu wale wako hapa. Madam DCC atatusalimia, lakini you can wave. Tumkaribishe na tumpigie makofi. Madam DC wetu yuko hapa. ACCs wote wale wako hapa. Wale wako hapa. Madam Oluoch yuko pale. ACC asante sana. Chiefs wale wako hapa. Chief Mugo, Chief Alois, Asha kutoka pande ile ingine. Asante sana. Tuko na CHPs wetu wale wamekuwa volunteers na wametusaidia sana hapa. CHPs mahali mko from each of the wards, asanteni sana. These are our heroes, tuwapigieni makofi. Wamekuwa kutoka siku ya kwanza kabla hata the disaster team kutoka county ama national wafike. CHPs wetu walikuwa pale. Mahali lilifika lilikuta kwamba kabla hata usaidizi yangu ifike, walikuwa wakichanga pesa zao hao wenyewe, make sure watu wa pale wamepata at least kikombe cha chai ama uji. Tuwapigieni makofi tena hawa mashujaa wetu. Tuko hapa pia na volunteers wengine wale wamekuwa wakijitolea without any training. Wamekuwa waki-intervene, wakiingia kwa maji na kusaidia. Ni wengi wale wako, lakini bwana akaja. Wewe busonga hapa mbele usalimie huyu kijana, ni shujaa mkubwa sana. Huyu kijana anaitwa Akaja kutoka Ngei. Without any training, yeye pamoja na vijana wengi walikuwa wakiingia kwa maji, wakirisk maisha zao na wakihakikisha kwamba we try and save watoto na wamama. Na hata iko mwingine I think alikuwa anajaribu kusave mtu wa pikipiki akienda na maji. Bwana Akaja, mimi bado nafuatilia gavana akiwa hapa na CS Kuria. Gavana alisema na mdomo yake kwamba atapatia bwana Akaja kazi kule kwa county, tumpeleke training. Asante sana bwana Akaja, ukae pale. Tuko live na mimi I hope that the governor is listening na tutafuatilia. Governor unipatia appointment, mimi nataka kuleta Akaja aanze kazi yake rasmi hapo kwa county, afanye ile kazi alikuwa anafanyia Mathare, afanyie watu wa Nairobi. Tuko na a number of other people wale wako hapa. CDF office chairman na ofisi yako, kina Mwanaisha, kina Pastor Jared, kina Nancy Kavindu na wengine wale wako hapa. Constituency chair lady wetu mahali yuko Sara, asante sana. Na staff members wote and volunteers wale wako, wale wametusaidia, and the stakeholders. And more importantly, katika hiyo group ya stakeholders, hii hafla tunakuja leo is to launch the Mathare Disaster Fund. Na hiyo Disaster Fund kiini chake kubwa ni kukari a medical camp. Na one of the partners wale tunapartner nao ni madaktari, farm technologist na watu wengine wale wametusaidia kufanya medical camps hapa before. So bwana Dulo Boaz mahali yuko hapa, tumpigie makofi. Ametusaidia kufanya medical camp Mathare 2019 and is here to coordinate madaktari, nurses, KMTC, hospitali zote zile ziko Mathare, from Lions to NCCK to Sofco na wengine wote wale wako, afikie mapartners wetu wale tayari tumeanza kuandikia, so that we can make this intervention possible. So ladies and gentlemen, following the nationwide flood disaster that adversely affected the country in general and Mathare constituency in particular. Over 5,200 households were displaced, accounting to well over 20,000 victims who lost what they called their homes or houses, properties, some even lost their lives. The statistics ile niko nayo kwamba there are 2 confirmed deaths za kutoka Mabatini, 1 confirmed death kutoka Ngei, 1 confirmed death kutoka Huruma, 1 confirmed death kutoka Kosovo. There are a number of people who are missing. Kutoka Mlango Kubwa, we have 5 missing people who cannot be accounted for, 4 from Mabatini and 1 from Kiamaiko. We are still taking stock and trying to gather the information and data through the office of the DC, the ACCs, chiefs, na wale nyumba kumi wale wanatusaidianga kule kwa ground, and the CHPs. We lost, other than lives, tumepoteza destruction to our infrastructure and other facilities such as bridges. Tumepoteza bridges that went down, karibu bridges 9. Tukianzia kule Kosovo, tuko na DP bridge, tuko na bridge ya Kisii bridge, tuko na Thiga bridge, zile zina connect Kosovo to village 1 ya Mlango Kubwa na village 2 ya Mlango Kubwa. Tukiwa hapo hospital ward, kuna ile Bishop Wanjiru bridge, Gorogoro bridge, tuko na ODM 4B bridge, ile tulipoteza kule. Mabatini tuko na ile Gumba bridge that is connecting us to utalii ward in Ruaraka. Ukikuja hapa hivi Huruma, kuna ile Mathare North bridge, St. Teresa, tumepoteza hiyo bridge, and these bridges very close to about 2,000 to 3,000 women and children every morning wakienda shule na wamama wakienda soko. So the amount of destruction that this has occasion is huge, na Kura pamoja na county na national government are responding to this. We have knocked on these doors, and myself together with my neighbor Honorable TJ Kajwang, who is also in the committee of roads, tunafuatilia kwa karibu sana njia ile tunaweza ensure that these bridges are reconstructed, sana sana wakati huu ile watoto wanaenda shule. In the wake of this unfortunate disaster, there has been an outpouring of messages of goodwill from within and outside the country, words of sympathy and prayers with support in form of food donations, personal effect and survival kits such as blankets, mattresses, sanitary towels, and other items which have reached and continue to reach the victims. As the Member of Parliament, I remain eternally grateful to individuals, organizations, county and national government, as well as local and international organizations, including Red Cross and Madam DCC, you have told me, is it UNICEF or UNICEF, World Vision na other organizations including UNICEF wako hapa, na wale wote wametusaidia with the coordination also of Red Cross. We remain eternally grateful, na hiyo msaada iendelee kufikia watu wa Mathare. The need to continue the line of support can neither be overemphasized nor gainsaid, and we request for this help to be enhanced with the end in view of having a permanent solution on how the victims can be settled in a dignified and satisfactory way. Hakuna mtu who prays akiamka asubuhi kwamba ninataka kukaa kwa camp kwa ile hali ile iko kwa camp. So I am sure that these people are very eager that they may be able to return to normalcy, na tunaomba kwamba the interventions round that are being looked into may be of a permanent way, but more important, dignified, so that tuwe na a dignified way kudeal na watu wetu wa Mathare, wa Nairobi, and I'm sure even around the country. However, an emerging concern in the wake of this flood disaster has been the health implications for most mothers, mostly with their children, others who are pregnant, vulnerable young adults, single mothers living in makeshift camp with little, if no, sanitary facilities. This, in addition to an already hostile and cold weather, makes perfect condition for the spread of airborne diseases, water diseases, respiratory diseases, and other diseases that require immediate and urgent intervention by ourselves and the partners that we have talked about. It is for this reason, and against this background, that I, in consultation with partners and stakeholders whom I have mentioned, and they are being coordinated by Bwana Dulo here, whom I will give a chance to greet you. The last ones who came walitusaidia University of Nairobi, Aga Khan, I think there were MSN Medical Sans Frontier, na wengine wale walitusaidia together with our locals here, SOFCO, Jumuiya, NCCK, Lions na wengine. We have reached out to these stakeholders, and I have formed a committee who are here to coordinate this purpose, and have proposed to reach out to all these friends who are going to intervene to help the great people of Mathare by way of an appeal for funds through the establishment of this which we are launching today, the Mathare Flood Disaster Fund. The fund will mainly help to fund a medical camp to take in place in these makeshift camps. These camps, the big one, iko pale Masinde Muliro. Another one, iko hapa Undugu. The other one, iko kule Kosovo kwa chief bado iko camp. Yeah, I think, and 4B, iko camp kule. So there are these makeshift camp. Kuna ingine ilikuwa PAG. I don't know whether the PAG ones are there. So that we will have mobile clinics moving to these small ones zile bado ziko. Hapa hivi, I think tuwaweza hapa Mabatini. I think there is still a camp that is there. But the main camps mahali ziko where we will physically put the permanent medical camp for 2 weeks. Ni ile iko pale Masinde Muliro grounds. Na hapa hivi Undugu. And then we will have mobile clinics that will be going around. For this reason, the funds appeal that we have made today will enable us to respond to the following gaps which have been identified in the wake of this developing humanitarian crisis. I have told you that there has been a number of interventions, mostly in terms of supplies for basic survival kits. But the emerging medical crisis that ensue is a medical one, and which, if we do not intervene with in the timely manner and in a concerted manner, will cause more deaths than even the floods themselves. So this medical fund and the appeal we are making, we go into facilitating a medical camp and emergencies. So we have put together this team of medical interns, doctors, farm techs, volunteers from the CHPs to carry out a 2-week medical camp. It will begin in phases. The first phase, iko from the 13th on Monday, from our local stakeholders, coordinated from the Lions Dispensary Clinic ile iko pale, together with SOFCO, together with Jumuiya, and also the KMTC that provided us with a lot of assistance the last time with their nurses and their other professionals whom they have. So that phase, it will begin on the 13th mpaka Sunday, and then another phase that will now come in with the doctors, nurses, professionals, wale are being coordinated by Dulo, wataanza hiyo Monday ya 19th, na wataendelea in those 2 main camps and mobile clinic within the other camps. We are also asking for this so that we can respond to the need for counseling. The trauma that has been caused by this requires some people to be counseled. Iko mama hata kama atoki Mathare, nikitembea Mabatini hapa chini kwa hizo camp ya SDA nikaingia hapa Tuwaweza. There is a lady who crossed over from Ruaraka constituency, akakuja akaniambia, mjumbe, hata kama wewe sio mjumbe wangu, I have lost 3 children. Can you imagine? Mama amepoteza watoto 3 wa umri kati ya miaka 5 na miaka 12. You wake up one morning and you do not have 3 children. Some of those are part of the statistics ya wale unasikia missing children. Such a mother will require counseling because ile trauma akonayo is huge. and suicide and depression is a real thing. So we are asking Bwana Dulo that even as you reach out for professionals, include also professional counselors who may be able to counsel these people so that we can deal with them. There are many such situations of people who have lost property that require counseling. But there are people, young people, old people, wale wamepoteza pia property zao. And I want to call here one young man kutoka Ngei, anaitwa Bena. We will not only require intervention kusaidia hawa vijana wetu na wale wamepoteza properties, yeah? So this young man anaitwa Bena atakuwa one of the people that we may require to assist. Huyu ni kijana alikuwa an entrepreneur coming up person. Amepoteza pigs ama nguruwe zaidi ya 50. Zimeenda na maji, zimebebwa na maji ikaenda na nyumba. That boy is in depression. That young man represents the many young people wale wana struggle kuhustle kufanya vitu ndogo ndogo ile inawasaidia. Na ninajua kuna wengi kama hawa kia Michael wale wako na vitu walikuwa wanafanya na wamezipoteza. I know of old people who had houses that they had for rentals which they depend on kusomesha watoto wao. Zote zimeenda na maji, and some of these people will require counseling. So we are also trying to see whether we can use this fund to respond to some of the people who died. Some of these people who died are... Some of these people who died, some have been buried. Some of the ones who have been buried, we will still reach out to their families and see what assistance we can be able to give them. But there are some whom have lost their persons and they are still missing. Hawa watu wale wako missing, if and when they are found, tunataka kusaidia hawa through this fund to be able to get the waivers or payment of mortuary fees, sanduku, transportation, so that they can get a dignified burial to their people wherever it is they will do this burial. And therefore, in collaboration with the relevant agencies and partners, we will also be partnering with other people. Honorable Martha Karua was supposed to be here today. Martha Karua has an initiative which Madam DC, we have agreed to partner with her. A lot of these people walipoteza documents, ID cards, birth certificates, school living certificates, stakabadhi zingine kama titles za nyumba walipoteza. So tuna appeal to the government so that if these people come hapa kwa ofisi zetu kama ni kureplace, that the fees be waived ya hawa vijana na wamama na wazee to do their identity cards. I don't want to speak a lot on that because I know Her Excellency Martha Karua will be here on Tuesday to launch that initiative. But we will be happy to partner with her, whatever way we can ask for waivers from the offices, and if some still require assistance ya kulipa fees ya kufanya replacements, we will also use this fund in order to do that. Lastly, we also want to appreciate our volunteers. Na hii ndio point yangu ya mwisho. Volunteers wetu hawa CHPs na vijana kama kina Kaja na wengine na vijana wengi wale wetu kutoka hizi ward sita wamekuwa wakifanya volunteer. We want to see how we can be able to sustain the work that they do. Ukiona CHPs, hebu moja asimame hapa tuone vile amevaa hizo sare zao, one of the CHPs. Unaona hizi ndio sare zile wanafanyanga nazo kazi. I know there are some other survival kits zile wanakuanga nazo. They require gumboots. CHPs, step forward wale wako hapa. Please, wanatoka kwa ward zingine. So we need to try and see how we can encourage them. These are our heroes. Hawa ndio volunteers wamekaa mchana na usiku bila kulala wakiensure kwamba our people who were affected are able to respond and to be placed in these temporary shelters in a dignified way. Tukiwatafutia some of the tools and tools of trade pamoja na vitu vingine, including appreciating them. We need to have a culture of appreciation where we encourage people to volunteer, na tunaingia kwa mifuko zetu. So when you're doing the donations with the pay bill that I am about to share, as little as 50 shillings, 100 shillings, zikitolewa na watu 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, we will be able to respond to this disaster in terms of sustaining the medical camp, in terms of helping our people get a decent burial, and in terms of getting kits and an appreciation to our CHPs wetu. Unaweza kurudi. So, sasa ningependa kupatia fursa Bwana DCC, kabla DC aongee, nipatie Madam Elachi awasalimie. Or I think Madam DCC is heading to a function, so I think she needed an opportunity and then to kurelease. Ndio Madam DC. So, situpigie kama kofi Bwana DC, akuje atusalimie alafu tumrelease, kuna function ingine iko pale alafu tutabaki na hawa